speakers from the negative side. Your time begins the moment you utter your first word.
Esteemed judges, respected and worthy opponents, CTE faculty and staff, and valued audiences, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today, we gather to address a topic that transcends complexities of our societal structure today. But first, I would like to begin with a quote by Aristotle that says, "The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal." This profound statement encapsulates our position in this debate regarding the prioritization of beneficiaries of the Pantawid Pamilyang Filipino program or 4Ps in the hiring of teachers. While the intentions behind such policy may be noble, we must scrutinize the implication it carries for educational equity and quality. We acknowledge the pressing social issues that the 4Ps programs seeks to address. However, prioritizing individuals based solely on their status as beneficiaries can perpetuate a different form of inequality. Our stance is grounded in the principles outlined in Article 13, Section 3 of the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines, which states that we must protect labor and promote employment opportunities. It also guarantees that the rights of workers to organize, bargain, and strike, which underscores the importance of social justice in all spheres, including education. While social justice aims to promote the welfare of marginalized groups, it does not endorse the creation of new forms of inequality or inequity by favoring one group over others in the hiring process. According to the Philippines National Teacher Recruitment and Selection Board or NTRSB, there is a growing concern about the staggering number of unqualified teachers in the educational system. Current statistics show that almost 20% of new teachers do not meet the Department of Education's qualifications, which directly impacts our students' learning outcomes. When hiring practices are influenced by social programs rather than a candidate's qualifications and preparedness, the long-term impact on the quality of education could be detrimental.
Moreover, legal frameworks exist that can support our argument. The Civil Service Commission of the Philippines emphasizes meritocracy. It is a system where individuals are selected and advanced based on their abilities and achievements. In hiring public servants, which includes teachers, the principle of professionalism in education should remain sacrosanct. It is the most sacred. Prioritizing one demographic over another undermine the foundation values of fairness and equal opportunities inherent to think.
Okay, your 3 minutes opening statement is over. Let's proceed to the rebuttal and interpellation from the affirmative side. You have the floor now, speakers.
You have mentioned earlier that the hiring of the 4Ps beneficiary is solely on their status. How can you say that prioritizing the 4Ps beneficiary in hiring for Teacher 1 is solely on their economic status?
Pardon, can you repeat the question?
You have mentioned earlier that hiring of the 4Ps beneficiary is solely on their status. How can you say that prioritizing the 4Ps beneficiary is solely on their status?
While it is essential to provide educational opportunities, it should not come at the cost of the quality of the institution. So poor teaching will harm the very children we need to uplift. So we should focus on scholarships or additional training for 4Ps beneficiaries to ensure that they are adequately prepared for the teaching role.
How can you say that, how can you conclude the word poor teaching? She mentioned the word poor teaching. How can you conclude that word?
Well, in the statistics, according to the Philippines National Teacher Recruitment and Selection Board, or NTRSB, that there is a growing concern about the staggering number of unqualified teachers in the educational system. So in that way, then we can identify that there are some teachers that being hired in the educational institution are not qualified enough to teach or doesn't meet the standards. So in that way, then it can result to a decreasing student outcome in their learning because the teacher is not qualified. So how can they teach well in the class?
So how can you say?
So we want to emphasize in our excuse me. So we want to emphasize in our argument that the hiring process should focus on the qualifications, skills, and abilities of the teachers. So to ensure the delivery of what do we call the quality education. That's all.
But according to the DepEd Order Number 7 Series of 2023, titled Guidelines on Recruitment, Selection, and Appointment in the Department of Education, it was issued on March 2023. And for instance, a memorandum from DepEd Region 1, for example, highlights the 4Ps beneficiaries who have passed the LET, and meet the qualification outlined in DepEd Order Number 7 Series of 2023. So, before the 4Ps beneficiary is hired, they undergo with the DepEd Order Number 7 Series of 2023.
Yes, but according to the Article 13, Section 3 of the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines, we should ensure equality in the hiring process. Just because they are members of the 4Ps beneficiaries, it doesn't give them the leverage to be accepted first than those teachers who are first in rankings, who are nauna nila.
And in addition to that, a DepEd order can be revised, whereas the 1987 Constitution can't be pampered or tattered by any other, like the presidents. So how can you question the 1987 Constitution? Because since it is the cornerstone of the Philippine democracy.
So, also in addition to that, according to Civil Service Commission or CCB, one of their policies there, they emphasize that hiring in government should be based on merit, fitness, and equality, not financial assistance programs just like 4Ps.
We should not use our social status to be a leverage or to improve our ranking just because we have 4Ps as our background.
So you said earlier about poor teaching. So do you have evidence that these teachers are 4Ps beneficiaries?
Show that almost 20% of the new teachers do not meet the DepEd qualifications.
Are those our 4Ps beneficiaries that are hired or
well, I can testify that in a study titled Socioeconomic Evaluation of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program 4Ps among the selected household in
Unfortunately, your 5 minutes rebuttal and circulation is over. It's getting exciting here, right? And now we are down to our 2 minutes closing statements from the negative side. You have the floor now.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so in conclusion, we do believe that hiring teachers should be based on qualifications, competitive
qualifications.
Are those our 4Ps beneficiaries that are hired or
well, I can testify that in a study titled Socioeconomic Evaluation of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program 4Ps among the selected household in
Unfortunately, your 5 minutes rebuttal and circulation is over. It's getting exciting here, right? And now we are down to our 2 minutes closing statements from the negative side. You have the floor now.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so in conclusion, we do believe that hiring teachers should be based on qualifications, competencies, and merits. So why? It is because prioritizing four-piece beneficiaries will disregard the principle of equal opportunity, where all teachers should be selected and judged based on their credentials, skills, and competence in teaching rather than socio-economic status. And additionally, there is no guarantee that these four-piece beneficiaries is the most competent or the most effective teachers in that particular field. Specifically, they have other applicants that may have a better academic achievement, teaching performance, or other even more higher credentials. And also, it will lead to unfair employment. So meaning, especially to those qualified applicants who are also poor and not part of the four-piece program, but they are actually or more deserving compared to their fellow applicants. So we need to consider that not all four-piece not all core students are all four-piece beneficiaries. So instead of prioritization, why not our government should implement other initiatives, just like scholarships or some other trainings or programs that can allow these beneficiaries to compete fairly to others, not just to give them a prioritization over others.
Well, the intent to provide opportunities for the disadvantaged is commendable. Prioritizing four-piece beneficiaries in...
Okay, 2 minutes closing statements is over. Now I would like to give the floor to our members of the adjudicators for some clarifications from the statements or any statements mentioned by the negative side.
Okay, good morning everyone. Good morning teachers and debaters in front. So my question for the negative side, since you were mentioning equality a while ago, you also mentioned on is prioritizing four-piece o no, not supporting the equality. Diba? You were mentioning scholarships and trainings. So if you were to suggest, no, what could be the possible program of the government that you think, specific program that you think that can be offered to the four-piece applicants for them to fairly compete with the non-four-piece applicants in the DepEd?
So thank you for that question, ma'am. So, well, there are existing programs in the CHED that helps the poor or the disadvantaged individuals. So one of that is the CHED Tulong Tulong program, which helps the poor without necessarily promoting or directly hiring them in the DepEd. So the program helps the disadvantaged individuals by giving scholarships and other trainings that helps them have a compete fair competition with others who doesn't have access, who has access to good training or education.
Okay, we have another question from the chairman of the Board of Judges.
Good morning once again. My question is, you mentioned about the Republic of the Philippines Constitution regarding on the hiring of the teachers, right? And then you also mentioned the policy that the Department of Education through memorandum, DepEd memo, right? I just would like you to reiterate, expound more on these two legal bases that you have mentioned to enlighten the teachers to be, especially you debaters, and of course the ones who are listening to you. I would like you to again reiterate, expound this legal basis. The one is the Republic of the Philippines Constitution in hiring teachers, and the ones that is a policy, Department of Education Education Memorandum? I mean, what is the difference? Or which of the two weighs more?
So, in our stand, ma'am, the only legal basis that can surely support us is the 1987 Constitution, whereas the DepEd order is on the affirmative side. So during the rebuttal, we reiterate that the 1987 Constitution weighs more than the DepEd order because the Constitution itself, or I mean, the DepEd order itself belongs to the 1987 Constitution. And moreover, DepEd order can be revised throughout times by those DepEd secretaries or any other directors of the board of the institution. Whereas the 1987 Constitution, is something that can be pampered, can be revised, and can be amended. And this serves as the cornerstone of the Philippine democracy. This is the core legal basis of all other legal bases.
Okay, I'm hearing no question from the members of the adjudicators. And that concludes our classroom debate contest 2025. Okay, I would like to request our future educators to give a big hand to our timekeeper this morning, Alwena. Another big round of applause to our brave and mighty future educators from the affirmative side and also from the negative side. And now let's give another big hand to our members of the adjudicators. The moderator this morning would like to remind everyone that we are talking about ideas, arguments here. So we should not attack a person, but we attack ideas. We disagree ideas, but we don't disagree with a person. I hope that creates a culture of excellence in our college, our dear College of Teacher Education. Once again, thank you so much. Our winners will be announced later this afternoon. Thank you so much, and may the good Lord shine upon us always and forever. Good morning. Have a great day, everyone.